Now, John Key has dubbed himself the luckiest New Zealand Prime Minister in decades after his trip to the US. Along with meeting some of the most influential men and women in the country, he spent 30 minutes with President Barack Obama, who praised Key, calling him a very good friend. Although a difference of opinion still exists between the two countries, Key says it's comments like these which show a coming of age after a 25-year anti-nuclear rift. Joining me now is political reporter Patrick Gower. So Key says our relationship with America is the best it's been in 25 years. What do you make of the visit, Patrick?
Yeah, well, there was a bit of a difference of opinion you mentioned there in your intro, and I guess there was also a difference in names. Barack Obama getting John Key's name wrong, calling him John Keys, not once but twice. So, I mean, I guess that's a great sign of him knowing us well. And you had to feel for John Key, really. He sourced a beautiful greenstone meri from Naitahu there down in the South Island, a beautiful piece of pounamu, and packed it up, probably put it in his hand luggage and took it all the way around the world to give to the president. And the president's choice of present for him was a little unusual, a sword from The Hobbit. Is sort of a bit of a downgrading. I mean, I guess it was a step above a fluffy sheep or one of those little kiwis on the end of a key ring. But it was a little unusual present, but I guess it will always serve as a reminder for John Key of the money that of the taxpayers' money that he gave to Warner Brothers to keep the film in the country, as he sort of looks on that in years to come, although it will go straight to the pool room. It probably won't go to his mantelpiece, and he'll find his grandchildren in 25 years' time probably playing with it in the back garden. But highly symbolic visit. I should take it more seriously. They rolled out the red carpet. It was important.
There are suggestions. The SAS has again requested to extend its term in Afghanistan, yet Obama didn't ask John Key for any further commitment to the war. How do you think Key will view this request from the SAS?
Yeah, well, last week after talking to John Key, I sort of said it was about 99% sure that he would bring the SAS out when their term runs out in March. And remember, they have stayed on again. You know, they got a one-year extension last March, and I think now that there's been no request from the White House, they will definitely come out. The war there is virtually over, as you know from visiting before. The legitimacy of it is certainly gone. John Key took a bit of a risk sending the SAS back in there, and I think you will find they will come out, although in saying that, there might be possibly 2, 3, 4, some sort of small liaison team stays on, but I can say they are, or probably say that they are all but out now, Rachel.
OK, confirmation too from the White House visit that the US Marines will come here next year to commemorate the 70th anniversary of when they arrived here in the Second World War. How do you think that's going to go down? American Marines on New Zealand soil?
Yeah, it is a big call when you put it like this, and certainly something that wasn't possible 15 years ago, 10 years ago, unthinkable 15 years ago, unthinkable 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. But important to remember, they're only coming out here for a symbolic visit 70 years on from 1942, when they came out here essentially to have our back during World War II. Remember, America were only dipping their toe in at that stage, and we were off on the front line. America came out to look after the South Pacific. So it's steeped in symbolism, this really. If you look at what America wants us to do now, essentially keep an eye on the Pacific. If you go up and have a look around there, you'll see countries like Tonga, the Solomon Islands, Fiji. China's got a big influence up there now. The US has got a little bit worried about that, and is sort of looking to New Zealand to be a bit of a policeman or a police officer, if you will, in the South Pacific. So the relationship's still sort of based around that. They had our back in World War II. They want us to get their back here in the South Pacific now. And I guess it will lead to people to sort of talk about the relationship, look at the history, and without the actual exercise or anything official kind of happening other than the symbolism of it, it may well work in the favour of both countries.
OK, Patrick, what's John Key up to next? What's next on the agenda for him?
Yeah, well, John Key's in Hawaii at the moment on holiday, actually, Rachel, which won't go down too well with many of us in the South Island, or people like myself who had to get out and defrost the car this morning. He won't bump into his new friend Barack Obama, because he's very busy, of course, trying to deal with this $14 trillion debt ceiling and sort that out. So he won't have time to go to his holiday home in Hawaii. John Key will have to body surf alone, or play with his new Hobbit sword with an imaginary friend.
All right, Patrick Gower, thank you for your time this morning.